Hey Rockheads, it's me Thor. Welcome to my kitchen, where we're going to be making some tasty treats for, the big game. First off, welcome to my house. So you can see I did some decorating on my own. It may go on just a little bit throughout the house. Everybody else made some pretty tasty stuff, and I figured why the heck not. We're going to be making stuffed mushrooms. It's my favorite thing to make for any party. They're surprisingly simple, considering how fancy they might sound, but they're tasty and they're pretty simple to make. So let's get to it. So like I said, we're going to be doing stuffed mushrooms. It sounds really fancy, not so fancy, really easy to do. All you're going to need is a pretty decent sized pot with a splash screen because, it's going to bubble a little bit. You're going to need some mushrooms, but you don't want little tiny cat mushrooms. These are pretty big mushrooms. And then you're going to need this meat masher. I'm sure it has a real name, but it's the meat masher for now. Some kind of spoon. You're going to need sausage. You're going to need a thin cream cheese, baby spinach, and then Parmesan cheese and some minced garlic. That's all you really need to make your very own stuffed mushrooms. So first things first, once you get going, first thing you want to do is set your oven because it takes a little while to get the temperature. We're going to set this for 350. Oh, look at that. How convenient. Let that preheat. Meanwhile, we're going to wash the mushrooms. If you look really closely, there's some dirt on them because they grow in the ground. And that might not just be dirt because they also grow in poop. So, yeah, you're going to want to wash your mushrooms regardless of what they say. So, guys, once you've got your mushrooms all nice and clean, all you got to do is take a knife. It's really simple. Kind of cut around the edges of the stem. And then it should just pop out. And if it doesn't, you keep a spoon handy. So then you can kind of scoop out the center. Should look just like that. And you do that to all of your mushrooms. We're doing a size order of about 6. So everything is based on that kind of division. So double everything if you're going to make 12. So once you're done pretty much coring them out, this is what it should look like. Now, a lot of times you can throw this away, but we're not going to. We're going to cut this up real nice and fine, and then we're going to put it inside the stuffing of the mushrooms. Depends on how much you like the flavor of mushrooms. If you like them a lot, add this to it. It's going to add a real nice flavor to it. If you don't like them all that much, you'd rather taste all the sausage and all the spinach and all the garlic, then leave it out and just use what you got right there. All right, so you got your mushrooms all nice and cut up. You got the stems down. You got them cored. Next thing you do, you add just a little bit of oil to your pan. Just a touch. Get your stove going. Now, you can use whatever type of sausage you want. I like mine mild to spicy. And for 6 mushrooms, you're going to want half a pound. So a regular tube of sausage is a pound. So it's got markings on it. Cut it in half. Take the half you're going to use, put it right in there. Get rid of the other half, eat it later. But then you take your meat masher, and as it's cooking, you just kind of want to do exactly what you know what to do with it. Alright, it should, after you've mashed it up real good and fine, should look an awful lot like this before you start adding any ingredients, okay? So first thing we're going to add is those mushrooms that we already cut up. Put those right on in there. I'm going to use just slightly over a teaspoon of minced garlic in mine. And then you get yourself your cream cheese, doesn't matter what brand. I recommend full calorie cream cheese on this one because if you're eating stuffed mushrooms, you're probably not really concerned about your weight anyway. And again, we're going to use half the package. So cut it straight down the center. There's also measurements on it that tell you exactly where center is. Take that. Save the other half for bagels. Drop that right in there. All the while, now that you've already mashed up all of your meat, you're just going to start stirring it around. You want to lower your heat from high down to about medium. I know you can't smell it, but it already smells really good. sometimes your cream cheese, because that's brand new cream cheese, is going to be a little bit solid. And it's going to break down into like an actual like creamy dip once it gets like really hot. So you might have to use this in a spoon and kind of break your cream cheese up a little bit. So then we're going to let that simmer for a couple minutes. All right, while it's simmering and that meat's really just browning up, that's pretty much what you're looking at, okay? This is exactly, you have the meat nice and kind of that gray, the cream cheese and the mushrooms. You should never let your mushrooms get too brown. You want them to be a light white as you're going. Otherwise, you've cooked them for too long and then it's just like a mushy nasty. While your mushroom stuffing is still cooking and simmering, go ahead and get your pan ready. I recommend using aluminum foil over the top because this will put some marks on your pan if you aren't careful. All right, so then the last thing we're going to add is going to be the spinach. You want to add 2 cups of spinach, and when you measure out lettuce like this, you kind of want to push down a little bit. So it's not necessarily going to be flush to the bottom, but you just kind of want to have them bend until they're not exactly crushed in there. But you want 2 cups. And then you take out your spoon and you kind of whip it all together until the leaves start breaking down. So you put your spinach in, you got everything going, you're still on like a medium simmer. You just keep stirring this around until basically your spinach leaves are going to turn just a little bit mushier, until they've kind of lost all their leaf-like tendencies. All right, so once it looks like actual filling, and like I said, the spinach is going to completely lose all of its leaf-like tendencies, that's when it's ready. So hopefully you've already got your mushrooms ready. Go ahead and just scoop it in there. I'm going to go ahead and take this time and point out you can also do this with bacon, but you're going to need 2 pounds of bacon for this recipe. And it's a little bit harder to do with bacon. You've got to add more cream cheese. But that's why I kind of like doing it with, I like doing it with sausage anyway, because I think the sausage tastes good anyway. I'll come back to that one, don't worry. All right, so at this point, mushroom stuffed, meat filled, beautiful looking mushrooms. Last thing you're gonna do, you're gonna take some Parmesan cheese. You can just sprinkle it on, however much you want, because all it's gonna do is give it a nice crisp finish on the outside. And your oven should be totally preheated at this point. You take these suckers, set them right in the oven, 350 degrees for 18 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 18 minutes.
18 minutes, starting now.
There we go. All right, so now we've got our timer set. Mushrooms are cooking, and now you just gotta sit back and relax. All right, we're gonna peek in on these for just a minute. As you can see, they were bright white, and they're starting to turn this more like dark color. You want them to be like a real dark gray, because you want the mushrooms to be pretty soft by the time they're done. But we're only 7 minutes in, so we got about 8 minutes left on the timer. All right, so our timer is just finished. Let's see what we got going on. And perfect. All right, so see how you got that dark color, kind of like a marbling almost happening around them? Yeah, that is exactly what you want to see. That's how you know they're done. Then they should be pretty tender. So if you poke at them, they should no longer be firm. They should be kind of mushy. That's how you know they're done. Now these are going to be exquisitely hot for about 6 minutes minimum. Let them sit. Once you've done that 6 minutes, you'll finally be able to eat these delicious stuffed mushrooms. And that's how you make these stuffed mushrooms. Again, we gotta wait just a few minutes before we can dig into them. Otherwise, you're just gonna burn the living hell out of your mouth. Been there, done that. Hopefully your team wins the big game today, and I hope you enjoy these mushrooms. And if you do, make sure you leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Later.